Brian, talk a little bit about once it's fixed, it's in place, it's checked out, it's taken, what maintenance responsibilities or any maintenance that needs to be done.
Oh, it will be under our current service level, and even with the new funding, it is a natural creek, and so this doesn't become a district facility. It becomes what it is now, a natural creek on somebody's property, prone to whatever it does. And the district eventually will have a district-wide fund so that when there are just tremendously bad stormwater issues, we'll have a limited amount of funds to kind of go through the district like we would here and fix those, but then those get turned back over to the property owners. Right now it isn't in the district's mission, it's not in the district's level of service, there's not a fund we collect. When we do these in other areas, we fix these and then they become the responsibility of those who own. And that's not supposed to sound scary, because what we're putting in isn't supposed to require a whole lot of maintenance. That's not the point. But what I can offer you as it goes in and as we get it fixed, if there is someone, whether it's the subdivision trustees, local resident, whoever you want, if there's somebody who wants to become a little educated on what's going on, we can spend the time to make sure they become fully educated on what this looks like. But it is meant to be a permanent fix. It doesn't require continuous maintenance.
Okay.
But we can educate somebody if you guys feel it'd be nice to let them know what maybe to look out for. Those types of things.
And the point there is going to be responsibility of the trustees and perhaps the subdivision to look after that. Now, if there is again another catastrophic failure, again, we have to revisit what's happening there. But for the maintenance, the seasonal maintenance, things of that nature that maintain the integrity of that fix, there is going to be a responsibility that the trustees have to fulfill on behalf of the subdivision to ensure that that is maintained properly and its integrity is maintained.
Is there going to be any responsibility to the individual homeowners that may need to be, divulged to any future, sales
I would.
or anything?
I'm not a lawyer.
Sure.
But I know the current. Since we looked into this, we know what the current indentures are.
Right.
Your indentures right now make that the responsibility of your trustees.
Okay.
I don't know what that means legally. It's in the eye of the beholder, I guess, as to whether that's a threat or not. Somebody asked me that, and I think the point is it's been fixed. I mean, we put something in that's been engineered that's not supposed to be a problem anymore. Anybody who has a creek in their backyard, the creek will move. I mean, that's the nature of living next to a creek. So, as a non-lawyer response, I don't know what might be a plus to divulge. We had a problem here, and MSD's fixed it. I'm not sure what that means. So,
in other words, consult your real estate.
I will let you know. Green is a big thing.
Sure.
I got rained out from my rain garden consultant who was going to meet with me this morning. I put rain gardens in my yard. But this is a green fix. Biostabilization. It matches with that. That is attractive to some people. If some people look back and say, I don't like a fence and I love to have my 2-year-old kids run around the backyard, okay, that close to a creek might not, I mean, it's kind of like any property, I think, after that. There shouldn't be anything special.
Okay.
Will MSD, can we get something from you after the project's done saying what was done for people who have questions about it?
Yeah, and I think maybe we might even roll that in with the trade or wherever that resides. I don't know what you want to, we can reside with the separate property owners, reside with the trustees. We can do anything you want, and that's typically, we do that typically.
Yeah,
with
put together a summary document. And actually for a good historical basis, let's say we're all long gone in 50 years, they may need those documents to go back and revisit another fix or something down the road.
And we can do that.
Are you guys going to have that plan, but exactly what it looks like in the internet or website?
We usually don't, because a lot of filters will not let the capacity of a drawing go through. What I can offer you is once we have the drawings done, I suspect Lance had in his mind that the temporary fix is in, it's good, and once we got a schedule when the big thing's going to happen, as opposed to this, we'll probably come with a set of 2x3 drawings and let you see what it's going to look like at everybody's property.
Obviously, between now and whenever the fix is, we're going to hit several major milestones. Some of those milestones may be best addressed over the phone, what have you, but there's certainly times, like when we had the final designs, etc., as we move through that construction phase, as we reach different decision points, where it certainly would be appropriate to come out and show you conceptually what it's going to look like, conceptually what the idea is.
We're going to have to ask about fence types. And there's some things, grass. I'm walking down, assuming everybody has bluegrass. I'm assuming that's what everybody wants. Maybe you want something different. I'm not sure. Maybe you want us to leave it graded because you're gonna do something special. We gotta clear all that stuff up before we finalize.
I mean, we can't be extravagant with it beyond what is required of the project, but we will re-landscape it and put those fences back there. And make sure they're appropriate fences too for what we're doing with everything else, so.
And anything we disturb gets sodded. That's our default. We don't seed, we sod. So it kind of becomes usable immediately.
Now, with the soil we have out there now, you say it likes to stand straight and down. Everybody likes to,
Yeah, if we were to take that soil and cut it back like this, it would do this.
right,
Clay,
Let's slide.
clay has a strength, and what it does, it tries to fail by rotating
right.
around the plane, and it's actually kind of like friction as you measure
Good.
it. But you want to slope it back. If you stand it up, it'll slough off.
So
So-
the fix back here, is it gonna have a gentle slope to it, or?
It will have a general straight slope, and then this face will be set up against that fix, and so it'll be okay. I mean, there'll be pressure against the whole face of the low soil,
Okay.
and you won't have to worry about it.
So the soil you bring in is probably gonna be clay then, I assume?
It won't be low, it won't be this, it'll be clay material, something that has some cohesion to it.
Okay.
In our big fear, well, originally why we thought buyouts were appropriate was because when we thought it was clay, and the way it would have sloughed off, the only way to maintain that creek integrity is to really drive like pipes or pilings as supports and hook them onto some bedrock someplace and to put something in the front of that kind of pulls the bank in. It's a very rough explanation. The engineer will
Close
correct me if I'm wrong.
enough, but you'd have to start from the toe and cut it back.
Yeah.
And that's why the idea of hiding the homes.
Right, and the only place to do that securely initially would have been, well, you'd have to do the foundations of the homes. That doesn't work. That's why the buyouts became, okay, you have to do buyouts here, but when we learned what type of clays we were dealing with, or soils, excuse me, it dramatically changed the ability of what we can do and what we need to do in terms of appropriate buyer policy for the types of projects we do to address issues.
And I know when you talked about that you were thinking it was more of a 30-degree angle is what you're kind of going to go back at from the...
It'll be
What are you thinking?
I don't know what the total design will be when they do it. It will be somewhere between I don't know how to do it, 2 to 1 to 3 to 1, which means for every foot of drop, it'll go out 2 feet or 3 feet. It usually looks something like that.
So it's not going to look...
Pretty much
It is the kind where you guys would be able to go out in your shoes and you could walk down the
Yeah,
slope.
you
That's
can
the
walk
kind
down
of,
the slope. Yeah.
pardon me?
Like a roof line? Like a
Yeah,
roof
right,
line?
yeah.
Yeah, that's
yes.
probably actually, that's what you
Well,
think
slope
of it.
like the way the
Yeah.
top.
Probably a little bit steeper than that, but yeah, that's probably
Right.
close to it.
It'll be, you guys can take a 4-foot board, put a 2-foot board on the end of it. That's a 2 to 1 slope.
Now again, that's general as we design it. There may
Yeah,
be
Sure.
let's see
Yeah.
exactly what it ends up being.
But it's not going to be a 20-foot drop.
No. You would be
Because
able
that
to.
doesn't solve the problem. That
Right.
maintains it. It just makes it a cleaner problem for the river to come after, or the creek.
Okay.
So the gabions, I mean, I've seen that in the older creeks, and those just downright aren't the proper fix.
Gabions can be, they are.
Army Corps would string us up and have
They
us
are
stand in
also,
banisters.
though, deemed as being not ecologically sound.
They're
You have to
pretty unlikely,
justify
yeah.
that they're the only solution. We're not gonna spend the time to try and do something
Okay.
like that.
Yeah.
What's a game
It's those cages with the...
You take a wire cage, and you fill it with rock, and you kind of stack them up to make a wall.
Oh, watch! Gee. It's okay.
Lance always watches out for us. But
Got all electrical things on the side.
that would be a possibility, except, I don't have the design in front of me. My guess is you might be talking about too severe of a situation here where you wouldn't want to use those anyway, even if they were approvable. Putting something in that's live and recreates what's natural is